I'm with you 100%
Correct.
on that. I'd like my planes and my men in tip-top shape.
Yes, that is just the way it's got to be.
Yes. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the F Word, Girls Gone 40. I'm your host, Carrie Murray, and with me to my left with a ear infection is my fierce to my fabulous Stacey Beeman.
Hello, everybody.
Stacey, how's the ear?
It is throbbing like a bitch.
I'm so sorry.
But it's okay. I feel like a 5-year-old. I feel like 5-year-olds get ear infections.
They do.
And I can't remember the last time I got an ear infection. Can you think of an ear infection?
Yes. I actually got one on after a trip to Hawaii.
Oh,
Because
water.
I did so much swimming and
water.
everything. But I grew up with ear infections. So you didn't have tubes in your ears as a
No.
kid? Yeah.
I mean, I've had occasional ear infections here and there, but never like chronic or anything like
Yeah.
that. No.
That was Kay. Kay had chronic ear infections. I did. Sean did. And Kay got tubes in her ear about age 4, 3 or 4, somewhere around there.
Are they still in?
No, they fall out because you as you get older, you grow.
Yeah.
The ear gets bigger. Well, the canal, the tube, whatever, and then the tube falls out, and then you find it or whatever. But yeah, and then you make a little pair of earrings out of them, and you're like, these are my tubes.
Oh, how cute!
Yeah, but
oh dear tubes.
They are so tiny. I don't even know how they get them in there.
It's supposed to keep the water out, though.
It just opens up the ear canal. Yeah, so the water doesn't stay in there, and you don't have that. Well, I'm sorry to hear you have.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to go right from here to the
antibiotic down
to the get the prescriptions. Yeah,
very good.
And I'm sure I'll be like laying to my side with the drops, trying to do their thing.
Oh, so sorry.
It's fine.
Luckily, you'll be on the mend soon.
Yeah, and sure. I was like, I'm in a couple weeks. It's still a ways away, but I'm going somewhere that's like 8,000 feet elevation. Ooh. So I don't want to have ear problems.
No,
because that's going to hurt already just by itself.
Yeah, whether elevation. You're going 8,000 feet above or below.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That would be no fun on your ears at all.
So I got to get this taken care of.
Yep. TCB. All right. Well, we're going to start with our first segment as always. Well, not always, but today, let's start with what the fuck you say.
What the fuck you say? Because we need to know what these G-damn Gen Zers are trying to say to us.
Truly.
Because they be confusing.
And they are people in our lives now.
Yes.
Readily available.
Yes.
And maybe when you go to the pharmacy, you might be having a Gen Z pharmacist who's going to be hopefully not cringy or chuggy, but is helpful. I don't even know what the Gen Z term for helpful would be.
Ooh, I don't know either, actually.
Maybe they haven't come up with that. It would just be hail.
Yeah.
They shorten everything. Just hail or full. They're totally full. Thank you for being so full. I just made up a Gen Z term, by the way.
Well, because everything is abbreviated.
Yes.
So
and
that's
sometimes
true.
It's the end or the beginning of a word.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, I've got there are just so many to choose from, you guys. I mean, I feel like this segment will go on for years because there's so many words.
Truly.
But my first word is simp.
Simp?
A simp.
Spell it.
SIMP.
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 Simp. Simp. Simple? Simply?
It could be
simperific?
Well, like I would put it in a sentence.
Okay. That's usually helpful.
Oh my gosh. He constantly kisses his boss's ass. What a simp.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought it would mean. So like an ass kisser? Someone who
kind of, it could be that. It says a simp is a derogatory Gen Z term for someone, often a man, but not exclusively, who is seen as desperate or doing too much for the attention, affection of someone they like. It could also be like, don't be such a simp for that chick. You need to like play hard to get.
Gotcha. Simp. So it's like desperate. You're kind of desperate.
Mm-hmm. Simps or white knights are generally seen as people who constantly do favors, compliment, and try to impress the object of their affection, even when that affection is unrequited.
Oh, and not returned.
Yes. So,
like he's totally simping her right now.
maybe simping for her.
Simping for her.
Simping for her.
Yeah. That's a good one. Simp.
There's a podcast I listen to. It's called the H3 podcast. And it's like, I don't even know why I listen to it. Honestly, it's kind of so stupid. But you become sort of invested in the crew. So you kind of just feel like, and this one in particular, like, whereas our other podcasts I listen to, this is kind of background noise.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's like the head of the crew is Ethan Klein. And he runs this H3 podcast, and they have multiple episodes throughout the week, and they have crew members, like kind of like We Need Linda the researcher.
Yes,
they do have that. So what they do, and it's really cool. I would love to get to this level because it's very cool. So like they go live every time, and they have a whole studio where they record from, and they go live, and they have crew, and like they have 2 people there that are ready to research in real time. How many times have just you and I wanted something researched?
Alan Ruck.
Yeah. Imagine like how much more a daily show that's 3 hours a day.
It's their episode.
They usually go about 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I don't listen to every single one, but yeah, a lot of times it's just like background noise for me and kind of listening. And they do talk about all current events, and some of their segments are really stupid, but
H3 means 3 hours?
No.
Oh.
H3 comes with, I can't remember the name of why that.
Linda.
His wife is named Gila, which starts with an H. Could be that. I can't remember. But anyway, so, and then they have someone else on there, we would love this also, who makes memes based on the jokes that are happening right then and there.
Wow.
In real time. They'll put up memes and like,
Yeah,
it's all real time. And then someone else does the soundboard.
Right.
Which is a great mixing, does all like clap track, or like they take the funniest sound bites from either their previous shows or like guests, or just,
oh gosh, it's like listening to Howard Stern.
It is very, very, very similar to that.
So it's like a radio show.
Yeah. It's like a radio show kind of.
Yeah.
But anyway, this one guy on there, his name is AB. And everyone calls him the simp of the show because he like kind of simps for Ethan. So I did know that term. I had learned it from that podcast, because they're all millennials and some Gen Zers in there. So it is keeping me in the know. So
okay, simping.
Yeah, simping.
Okay. Like it. Okay. Love that.
So I'm sure you can, if you haven't heard this, I'm sure you can guess what this next one means. But it's Yassify. Yassify. Like, yes, girl. So what does it mean to yassify something?
To really agree?
No.
To really like something?
Okay, let me put it in a sentence.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna like yassify my outfit with some pops of color and some jewelry.
Oh, I'm gonna yassify my outfit.
Yeah.
Like to make it bolder or more like more accessorized.
Kind of, yeah. So it says to yassify something or someone is to glam them up until they're almost unrecognizable. It originally referred to influencers' common use of beauty filters on social media. Like, oh my God, I yassified myself.
Oh.
But in late 2021, a Yassify bot account popped up on Twitter and began churning out images of famous faces digitally enhanced until they look like Bratz dolls. Okay.
Where's our Bratz doll?
I know. So just to yassify something is just to make it really super glam.
Okay. So we'll have to yassify one of our pictures and put it up on our Instagram.
Sure. Yeah? Sure.
And do a side by side.
Yeah.
Yassify. Now I have never heard that word.
Yassify. But you've heard, especially like drag queens will go like, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think based on that.
Yassify.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, Stacey, those were good. Yassify.
Simp and Yassify. If you hear them, you'll know what people are talking about.
Yep. And can they be used in the same sentence? I don't think so. Maybe you can stop simping if you yassified yourself.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Wowzers. Okay. Well, those are great, great words.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into our F words because we, I mean, our Friendventure, which so our last episode, as you guys know, listen, because you're all loyalists. And constantly like and subscribe and comment. You're now sharing with your friends on Instagram because we've almost hit 300 followers.
Whoa.
Slow down. And now that we've launched on YouTube, you've watched some episodes, maybe you've listened, what have you. We are getting up there in just the whole trend of podcast, in the fame of podcasts. Oh, the great word, fame. So, Stacey, what F word have you brought us here today to the class?
Well, I'm going to talk about our Friendventure.
Maybe that should be your F word.
Yeah, that's my F word because that's all I got today.
Love it.
I can't think straight right now because I feel like a corkscrew's in my ear.
Right. And after that Friendventure, what else could we possibly have to say?
Yes, we went to go see, and we talked about Heather on the last podcast. We talked about Heather McMahon, a podcaster who is just so funny. And we got a chance to go see her in San Francisco. At the time when she released tickets, there was no LA dates. So we were like, we got to go to San Francisco, obviously. Now, I do think she is now coming to LA, but that's okay. Anyway, and so we did go and see her. We haven't talked about the actual show since we went, since we last recorded, because I think we recorded the morning of. Well, first of all, it was really cool traveling to a city for a show that we've both been to. I mean, you grew up near San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco a million times. So there was no pressure to do a lot of like the touristy things.
No.
So we could like pop into a nice restaurant, grab a snack and a drink. There was no like, oh my God, we got to book this, book that, book.
We got to walk on the bridge.
No, none of that. No. We went around and took some cute photos and just, it was chill. It was very, very really chill, which was nice. And I love, that's the beauty of going back to a city that you've been to many times. That's kind of how could feel about Madrid a little bit because I've been to all the touristy things. So now you kind of just get to be like a local a little bit.
Yeah. You know? Kind of soak it in. And not feel so rushed and like, go. We have to be scheduled every minute. No,
I don't like that anyway, you know? But anyway, so we went to see Heather. First, we went to a great restaurant called Coswell.
So good.
So good. If you are in the Bay Area, Coswell in San Francisco was excellent. And
great burger.
Great burger, great
craft
drinks.
Cocktails.
The cocktails were so cool, the way they presented the cocktails. Just a really good vibe in there. I love that peacock wallpaper. Yeah. So pretty. We decided to go to a restaurant relatively close to where she was performing, which was the Palace of Fine Arts.
That's right.
Which is in San Francisco, which happens to be where Carrie graduated from college. And you said same carpet, everything else was different.
100%.
Oh my God, that's so funny. This building was, this structure was absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Very
that
pretty.
It didn't almost feel like California.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But so we were 4th row center to see Miss Heather. And it was interesting because you develop little bit of a different relationship. I mean, it's obviously one-sided, but a different relationship with someone that you're listening to week after week after week. And you hear kind of everything that's going on in their life. You almost like feel like they're your friend.
Yeah.
Like you and I have talked about, if we ran into Heather or we ran into Jackie or Claudia, or if I ran into Ross Matthews on the street, I'd almost feel like I'd be like, hi,
it's Stacey.
Like they'd know me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know them. It's kind of crazy parasocial relationships. So I can see how an unwell person could take that to a level that's not healthy.
Oh yeah.
But it's just an interesting, like, again, I use the word relationship, even though it's one-sided, versus like someone like J-Lo that, I feel like I know all her music. And
but we don't really hear J-Lo just
chit-chat.
Shoot the shit.
And talk about her mom and her living situation.
Always polished, always put together.
Yes. So it was like when Heather came out, I was just like mesmerized because first of all, she was beautiful. She had a great outfit on. She looked so great. And, but also I felt like I wanted to chat with her.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, can we stop the show so we can chit chat? And then it was so interesting because so at first we're just like screaming and yelling and so excited and it was so fun and she's hilarious
Very
and
funny.
brilliant and no holds bar, you know, and then she does some crowd work and she's got no filter. Like, no filter with the crowd. It's so funny. If you're not there to laugh, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
But it was so funny. At one point I got choked up and had just tears like rolling down my eyes and my cheeks because I remember Heather she started her podcast during the pandemic. And, I think I found her through the Toast.
Okay.
So they brought her on and then whatever. And so from there I started listening to her. I think it was right before the pandemic actually. And, she was steadfast all throughout the podcast pandemic. She recorded and there would be, I remember weeks she'd be like, I don't have anything to say because I'm not able to do anything.
Right.
Like, we're not able.
Yeah.
But she was just such a voice of consistency and like a voice of funny and lightheartedness during a shitty time.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like,
you looked forward to it.
I really looked forward to hearing from her every week. And so
just like our fans,
of course, all 20 of them, 20 might be,
that's a little low. Let's be fair.
I don't know, 25?
I mean, don't listen to
her. Have we looked at any of our
Can you
stats?
continue the story?
Be curious to know how many people. Anyway, so
thousands.
Yes.
Upon thousands.
So that's why we should get sponsored.
That's right.
I think they ask for proof of
downloads.
Yeah,
I can show you some data.
So I just was like, started crying at one point. Of course, I was a little martini infused, and martini tears are legit.
Yes.
And but yeah, it was just so enjoyable seeing her. And I just think that if you get an opportunity to see people live that you have been enjoying, you should. You know, it's
Absolutely.
really like, you know, it's so great to see them. And I would. Even though Heather is obviously not nearly as big as like Beyonce or something, or Taylor Swift, as we were talking about Taylor Swift last week or whenever it was, I would so much rather go see Heather because I have more of just like, this is more my daily or weekly life.
Right.
You know?
Right. I agree. I think she was fantastic. And I'm so glad you introduced me to her. And she's just so down to earth. You know, I think it's also because we're seeing her in the beginning, you know, of her growing her comedy and everything. And also her comedy is very personal. She talks about her husband. She talks about her friends, her mother, her sister and everything. So you feel like you know all aspects of her life.
Yes.
And she's just delivers the best timing and she could be talking about golf with her husband and it's just the funniest thing ever. Like her podcast is called Absolutely Not. Everybody go check it out. Go see her to show.
Yeah, she was great. Hilarious. I really enjoyed her. And it really goes to show how, well, I was just listening to a marketing podcast and Amy Porterfield's marketing podcast about like the newest trends for 2023. And how more than ever, and this is not really new, but they're saying it even more now, even more after the 3 years since the pandemic started, people are craving that connection.
Yeah.
Personal connection. So yes, while we still love, obviously, let's be honest, look at the stats with Taylor Swift, like we still love our divas and our huge performers, people are going to come out for the ones they feel connected to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
when you show up for that.
Yeah. I mean, here's Heather, who's not like, she doesn't have specials all over Netflix. She doesn't have a TV show or anything, but she's managed to
and she's trying
sell
to become
out
an actor.
Yeah.
She auditions and you hear about her auditions and
it's crazy.
Yeah. And she's just trying to get work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
It was really, really good. So anyway, I loved that Friendventure. It was really fun. Highly recommend going somewhere else. It's like a good excuse to travel too.
Truly.
You know, instead of seeing someone right in your own city, go somewhere else.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love that.
So good times.
Good times. Especially when the travel is smooth as silk.
True.
which we did not experience.
No.
And the second leg of our Friendventure ended up us staying in San Francisco an extra day.
Yes.
But that's okay. We made the limoncello out of lemons.
An extra 24 hours for an hour and 10-minute flight.
Correct. Which is, I feel like the cruelest thing is that it's a short flight and we waited the longest.
Yeah.
It's like so cruel.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I did find out what I like to suspect was what happened to our plane.
Okay, tell me.
So there was a flight. This was Delta, by the way. And P.S. shout out to Delta baggage and
ticketing agents and everything.
Agents in San Francisco Airport.
So sweet.
They were very, very nice, very, very accommodating. I wish I had their names. I would thank them personally,
Yes.
but I don't. But what was I saying? I totally lost my.
You figured out what happened to our plane.
Okay.
Yes.
So there was a flight from New York to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And they had to make an emergency stop to Salt Lake City because the inflatable slide exploded in the cabin of the airplane and it hit a crew member. And then obviously he got injured and they had to make an emergency. But never has this ever happened on a Delta flight.
That is so wild that it would implode in.
Right? You would think it like goes out of the door. It's like, well, what happened to the door?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know. I'm trying. Breathe through your mouth. I'm trying. I mean, other than, I believe that was.
I think that probably set off the chain reaction of planes not being available.
Yes. Rerouted. Now you're in Salt Lake City, and those people are trying to get to San Francisco, and it just created this domino effect of you ain't going anywhere. I would have loved if they told us. Like after the second delay.
Yes. So we check out at 11 a.m. and we just decide, you know what? We have a beautiful lobby. Let's hang in the lobby. We've got Wi-Fi. We've got our laptops. And we weren't taking off till 3:35 or something like that. So we're like, okay, we have a couple hours to work. Well, while we're working, we get, the text from Delta. Your flight's been delayed. I think it was an hour. And then then we get another text and it's like delayed another half an hour. And then it gets delayed another half an hour. So it went from like 3:36 to 4:45 to 5:10 to 5:40.
Right. And then it stayed there for a while.
It stayed there. It stayed there so steady that we felt comfortable to go to the airport. We're like, let's roll. Okay, we're going to get out. Then wasn't it while we were at the airport and we were in the lounge, we get bumped to an 8-something departure. And now we're kind of going, and they're not telling us why.
No.
We're not getting just delayed. And we're like, is it the weather?
Right.
Because it had been quite cloudy and who knows. But I think we did start getting a little sinking feeling that, why are we going to get out at 8? I don't know. And Carrie was smart because Carrie immediately goes, okay, I'm opening up the Hyatt SFO website.
Yep.
And if this gets canceled, I'm going to book us a room ASAP because, who knows how many people are going to be scrambling to get rooms.
Sure.
And we don't want to be sleeping on no floor of the airport.
Or whatever hotel they would put us up in.
Right.
The Motel 8.
Right. And this one.
Motel 8.
Motel 6.
Carrie. There
Motel
is an 8?
6 and there's a Super 8.
Oh, Super 8 Motel 6.
I don't know if Super 8's exist anymore, actually. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe in the East Coast.
But they could have put us like in a Hojo. You don't know what they're going to do. And the good thing about the Grand Hyatt SFO is it's like you literally take the air tram. Terminal. It's there. Yeah. It's so easy. So
you're literally looking at the runway from your hotel room.
Yeah. And so lo and behold, we do get the next thing is your flight is canceled. You've been rebooked tomorrow morning. What the frick?
And we're not even on the same flight.
Yeah, we're not booked on the same flight because we didn't make our reservations together. So they don't know to put us on the same flight. So I'm on an 8:22 a.m. and you're on like a 10:55. Anyway, lo and behold, we did get home the next day.
We did.
Finally,
Monday.
Eventually. And we made the most of it. We had a nice night in our Grand Hyatt airport
hotel.
We ordered some DoorDash.
We did.
Which was a fiasco because Carrie ordered nachos.
Yes. All weekend I've been craving nachos.
You've been craving all weekend.
I've been talking about, I want some nachos. I really want nachos.
With like guac, sour cream, beans, chicken, cheese.
All the things.
Yours literally comes with chips and cheese.
Chips and cheese. That was it.
It was like someone threw it in the microwave.
Yeah. No, it tasted like it too. It was like I was in my college dorm trying to make nachos in a microwave, but with the cheese dip sauce, which would have been better than shredded cheese.
Oh my gosh. Because shredded cheese in a microwave becomes like a plastic wrap.
Pretty much. Yeah. You need like that nice jar of cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're talking.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
But, it was kind of fun because we got to catch some of the Tonys, and then we watched the Drop Dead Gorgeous movie, which is a way throwback to 1999, and I hadn't seen it in forever.
Me too. Very young Kirsten Dunst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So fun.
Kirstie Alley, which is kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it was we made the most of it. We did. It is what it is.
As we do.
And we did get some compensation from Delta, and we're going to submit receipts and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. These things happen. And and by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but I eventually saw something that said there was a mechanical error with the plane. Yes. And I, for one, would prefer to stay an extra night.
And not get on a plane that has mechanical errors.
Correct.
I'm with you 100% on that. I'd like my planes and my men in tip-top shape.
Yes, that is just the way it's got to be.
Yes.
So it was a good friend venture overall. Friend ventures are very important to have. If you haven't scheduled a friend venture,
Please do it. And let us know.
Do it. Where are you going to go? What you going to do?
Are you going to fly?
Who are you going to see?
What a pie. Thank you for sharing our friend venture.
Sure.
I love that F word. It actually leads into my F word.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Because my Monday did not end after I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey, when I tell you it's been 32 hours since I've seen you, and so much has changed in the world of Carrie Murray.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. So that's why my F word is flexible.
Okay, good. Well, something we know we all have to be.
Yes. Not only physically, but in all the spaces. So yes, my S word is flexible because after I saw you, we said goodbye. I went to dinner, celebrated my sister-in-law's birthday, came back. Hey, how's it going? We are 5 days from going to Italy. It's Monday. We go to Italy Friday. Today is Wednesday.
Yes.
Go in, check in on the children. I go into Kay's room. Now, during that during that Sunday of us working, I had sent the itinerary through this app that the travel agent used to both of my children. And they upload the app and they get the itinerary. And I realized this is the first time they're seeing the itinerary.
Oh, so they know nothing about what they're in for.
No, I mean, we've talked a few things we're going to see the Colosseum, we're going to Rome, and like they know we're leaving Friday, but they don't really know here's our train tickets, here's this, this is, they don't know the intricacies. Either does Sean.
Okay.
So keep that in mind in this story. And so I go in and see Kay, and they're on their bed and they're looking at the itinerary, and I'm like, I could tell they're like upset. I'm like, are you okay? And they just look at me and they said, I and she can barely speak. And all that comes out is nobody asked me if I wanted to go to Italy. And I'm like, you're right. And then I thought about it and I was like, no, I just said, we're going to Italy. I planned a trip. I never really asked anybody if they wanted to go to Italy. I was just like, we are rescheduling our trip from the pandemic and we're going to Italy. And everyone was just kind of like, well, okay, we're going to Italy. So they say that. I never was asked if I wanted to go to Italy. Then the next thing they say is, I didn't know we were going to so many places and that we were going to be gone for 21 days. And Stacey, when I tell you, a switch happened so fast in this child that I have never seen before.
Oh my gosh.
They immediately go white.
Oh no.
All the color is out of their skin and sweating, profusely sweating. And the breathing starts happening and they can't catch their breath and it's getting faster and faster. They're holding their chest and all they can get out is my heart, I can't breathe, my heart. And they're having a full on panic attack. And just like I'm hot, I'm hot. I can't breathe. I'm having a heart attack. And we had just talked about essential oils, right? And I had just gotten them.
Oh my gosh.
So I get the oils and the peppermint. We all have peppermint. Put it in their hand and my hands. And I'm just like, smell this. And I was like, it's okay. And I was like, you're having a panic attack. It's okay. I cannot get a word out. And her
adrenaline's probably so high.
It's so high. Speak. And white as a ghost, sweating, is like itching. Her skin is like shaking and rocking, and tries to smell and is not calming down and everything. And all I can hear them say is, I have to go hospital. Oh, and I'm just like looking at them like, oh my God. So I'm like, let me get Sean. So I'm like, Sean, you need to come up here. And he is looking at them and just like, oh my God, that's a panic attack. And he just goes to her, you're having a panic attack. It's okay. Try to follow my breathing. And he's like trying to, nothing is helping. And then he's like, I'll get a Xanax. And I was like, okay, gets a Xanax. This is going to help you calm down. I'm going to die. If I swallow the pill.
Oh my gosh, we literally just spoke
had
about
this conversation. Like literally less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choke. I'm gonna die. And will not take the pill. And is literally going back and forth. And it's this moment of dysregulation that you cannot obviously say to someone, just calm down.
No.
Yeah. And it was just like, we just have to get you to slow down your breathing and like try to take deep breaths. And all Sean can say is, you're not dying. You're not dying. It's very scary. I know you're scared. You are not dying. You don't have to go to the hospital. And you just, it's all,
yeah.
And so
can't even get the words out.
No. And you would think they would be crying. There are no tears. It is pure panic.
Fear.
And is physically, there is something physically happening to them. And just the sweat coming down. So we're wiping their forehead. We're like, it's okay. So we get this part of their oils, all these like things you can do to help someone coming out of a panic attack is get a big bowl of ice and have them put their face in it, because it immediately changes your body temperature so fast that you can kind of regulate yourself again. So we get this big bowl of ice and they're holding it, and they would slowly bring their face to, I can't breathe. And I'm literally going, we're going to have to go to the emergency room. Like it's been about 30, 40 minutes. It feels like it's been hours.
That's a long time.
Very long. And Sean is like whispering that to me. This is a long panic. This is not great. And I was like, do we need to go to the emergency room? And he's like, no, all they're going to do is give them an IV, maybe give them an EKG, and basically bring them down. They're going to give you liquid Xanax and bring you down off this. And the word IV, whoop.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the hospital. And then you could see them slowly coming down from this panic attack.
And the exhaustion after that is.
And so sorry, I have to move the cat because I'm going to sneeze. But now they're just laying there and just kind of like trying to catch their breath. And all they keep saying is, it's too far. It's too far. It's too long. I don't want to go to Italy. It's too far. I don't want to be away from my friends. I don't want to be away from my routine. And you could see that this was something that they had been thinking about, and it all just kind of came to a head. Get out of here.
That's smart.
That's how you get the cat off the table. And then it was like, now,
oh God,
now we see the tears. I'm not going to see my friends. It's so long. As soon as we get back, I go right to UCLA. So in our schedule, out of school on Friday, a week later, we leave for Italy for 21 days.
Yes.
Return from Italy, 4 days later, they go to UCLA for 3 weeks. They get out of UCLA, and 10 days later, they go back to school.
Oh my gosh.
So literally a summer break of 11 days. Now, I have never been someone who overschedules my children.
No,
at
you're
all.
not at all.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
And I have learned in these children that anytime we enter something new, we usually talk about it a lot. Like we would go to birthday parties early, like be the first ones there so they could acclimate to the party setting.
Mm-hmm.
If we went to a birthday party that was packed full of people, that was already in full swing, they would have never left my side. Preschool, we always got to school. First day of school, currently, Kay likes to get to school 25 minutes early. I don't know why. In high schoolers I literally would get there as the bell rung. Like
yes.
Walking in as the bell rang. Yes. So the fear and now the tears are massive. I'm not going to be in my routine. I won't be able to take my singing lesson. I want to see my friends, especially the ones that just graduated before they go to college. When am I going to get to learn to drive? Like all of these things are coming into play. And I'm sitting there listening to them go on. And part of me is just like, yeah, I never asked you if you wanted to go to Italy. In fact, I didn't ask anybody. And so I tell them that. I go, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't ask you if you wanted to go to. And I look at Sean and I'm like, I didn't even ask you if you wanted. I go, do you want to go to Italy? And Sean's like, yeah, but not for that long. And so I was like, it's Monday. We leave on Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I had sent Sean the itinerary months ago.
Oh, come on.
Never opened it.
I'm sure not.
Never read it, but I had never told either of these children what we were doing.
Going for 3 weeks.
That we're going to 5 different places either. Usually when we vacation, we're like in one spot for like weeks. And the Italy trip we planned in 2020 was that. We were in one spot for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we would take little day excursions. So seeing the itinerary of 5 different trains, 2 different planes, 5 different hotels, constantly moving, both of them are now like, I don't want to do that. I'm like.
And where does River stand in all of this?
River, right now is in his room and doesn't hear it. It's probably hearing there's a lot of commotion. So he definitely knows something is happening. But he never opened the app to even look at the itinerary either.
Okay.
So he's not aware that we are gone for 21 days.
Oh, wow.
Either. It was like everybody had this aha moment the Monday of the week we were going.
Okay.
Now, I know there are people listening that are like, shut up and suck it up. You're going to Italy for 3 weeks. How lucky for you. You're so fortunate. But let me tell you what, I do not want to bring anybody on a trip that doesn't want to go. I don't care if it's
misery.
San Francisco to New Orleans to Iceland or Italy. If you don't want to go, I don't want to spend the money making you go.
It's not going to be fun either.
For anybody on the trip. It could be like, I don't want to go to Disneyland. Well, you're going anyway. No, thank you. So they calm down. We're like, okay, we're going to talk to her therapist. And we're like, we're going to involve them and see what advice they have and what they think we should do to support you. And all Kay is saying is I'll stay here. I'll stay with the house sitter. Can Nana come stay with me? Like coming up with all of these solutions
to literally not go.
To not go. And I'm like, we'll figure it out. We're going to figure something out. We leave and I go in to talk to River and I was just like, he's like, what's wrong? And I kind of tell him a little bit what's going on. And I was like, River, do you want to go to Italy? He's like, yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, do you know how long we're going? And he goes, no. And I go, about 20 days. And he looked at me like, we are? And I was like, yeah. And he's just like, whatever, and doesn't really say much after that. So we're in there talking.
And when you planned it, were you just like, well, this is how long it takes to see all these places?
Yeah. I planned a trip that I want to take.
Of course. Well, I want to go to Italy for 3 weeks. That sounds wonderful.
I planned that.
Yeah.
Just like I talked about when they were turning 16.
And
you're like, you want a party? Let's have a big party.
Yeah.
No, I don't want a party. I want to have little individual things with my different groups of friends. So we're now, Sean and I are talking. We're like, Sean's like, do I stay home and you guys go? Do we not bring them to Italy? Do they both stay home and we just go? Like, we are literally trying to figure
what are
out
we gonna do?
what the hell are we going to do? And we have no solutions. We're probably up until about 1 a.m. trying to figure
Carrie.
out.
After what the craziest.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This is now Tuesday.
You must have been so tired.
so fucking exhausted.
Holy moly.
That's why I told you Tuesday, I don't think I can record.
Yeah.
I got some shit to figure out. Yeah. So did not sleep at all. Had, totally have anxiety dreams and everything.
And are you feeling some guilt? Are you feeling I planned this whole damn thing?
I'm feeling guilt. I'm pissed off. I feel guilt. I'm also like, what? Are you ungrateful? Like, what, are you spoiled? And then I go to swing the other way and be like, I didn't even consider your mental health in this situation. It didn't even occur to me, nor did Sean's anxiety about flying, which he's always been an anxious flyer. I was just like, you guys, we'll figure it out and everything. So then the next day we get in touch with their therapist. We have a session, we talk about it and everything. And the compromise that we've come up with is, by the time this episode comes out, I will be on a flight home from Italy.
Okay.
So we cut out the last 12 days of our trip. So we are now going for 10 days.
Okay.
We go from Friday to the 29th. So this is being released on the 29th. I'm on an airplane right now on my own instead of July 6th.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have cut all of that out. So now we're only going to 3 stops.
Were you flying there and back from the same? No. So you have to change all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next day, after talking to their therapist, we came up with these strategies and these plans and everything, and talking about, what's going to support them in this trip, but also they really want to go to UCLA because that's something they really want to do, which is musical theater. Italy, they don't want to go, but they want to spend time with their family. And I get this, but not that much time. And I can remember distinctly as a 16-year-old, when my parents took me camping, by the time I was 16, I could bring a friend. We went to Las Vegas. Do you want to bring a friend?
Oh.
And I was like, that's kind
of. My parents never gave me that option.
Yeah. To bring a friend.
I always wished they would.
Yeah. Bring a friend.
Because it was like, I think they thought I had a built-in friend in my sister.
Right.
Now you have had a brother.
Yes.
And Kay has a brother.
Correct. And also a younger brother.
Yeah. And that's quite different.
Very different. And not someone you can travel with, but definitely not the same as a friend, like having a friend with you.
Yeah.
That's the same age. That gets your little inside jokes.
Of course.
So yeah, we completely cut most of our excursions. We have some things like that River really wants to do that we didn't cut, but now we have everything we had planned is canceled.
Oh my gosh.
Both hotels, we had to change our flight to leave out of Florence as opposed to Venice.
Wow.
So we're missing Venice and Garda Rivera, and that last 2 legs of our trip. So we're doing Rome, Sorrento, Tuscany, and then home.
Okay.
And even then that took some convincing, but I just, when they went into the therapist, she's so fantastic. The first thing she was just like, Kay, you're going to Italy on Friday. And this is how we're going to get you there. And brought in all these support methods, and you can always reach out to her, and you can text me. We figured out a way for them to still have a session while they're in Italy. It's an 8-hour difference, but we're not going to Mars. Like,
of course, you can grab a Zoom,
you
still hop on Zoom,
have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You still are able to text your friends. Like you're going to be on social media. So
right.
It had to come into like this vision of like, what is it going to look like? Which if I was smart, I would have been talking about this.
Prepping them all the time. Yeah.
For months. But alas, I didn't. Suffice it to say.
So hard to foresee every single thing.
I know. And 3 different people on a trip.
Yeah. And all of their different various needs and complications.
Correct. And challenges.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted.
Okay.
But I am feeling really good because I am the perfect example of the poster child of why everyone should buy travel insurance.
Okay, there you go.
Because the only thing this is costing me is $400.
Wow.
And that's because of the change fee for our flight. Other than
Wow.
that, our hotels, our excursions, all of that
Amazing.
was 100% refundable.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, but I would have paid any amount to keep this kid
Yeah.
mental health in check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Stacey.
Oh
I've
my gosh.
never seen a switch like that ever.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean would tell me, he's like, sometimes it's like a slow, you know, you feel it, you feel the panic kind of slow. He's like, it's almost like a cloud comes over.
It's an aura.
And you feel it like in your peripheral.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was not this.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and sometimes you're so frightened. It's, you know, the fight or flight. It is literally so much adrenaline coming through at such a fast rate. It's like you've been struck by lightning. So it was rough. And I don't ever want them to have to experience that again. I sure as hell don't want to have to experience that again. But if, again, it's transparency and maybe just fucking ask, Carrie, do you guys want to go to Italy? What do you guys want to do? Mm-hmm. Never once did I ask that. Yeah. Flexible.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. That's a really interesting thing because, I mean, yeah, there is of course, a slight part of me that's like, oh, poor you. You have to go to Italy for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I know that feeling of it's too much. It's too many things. It's too out of my routine. It's too long.
Yeah.
And then I have no time, and then I go right to my other thing.
And then then that ends and I have no time. And what do you want to do when you're 16? You want to spend it with your friends.
Yeah. Or laying in your room, listening to music.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to have to go to school, obviously.
Yeah.
But you want to have some freedom to do what you want to learn to drive.
Yeah.
You know, you want to do these things that you do in the summer. Lazy mornings, going to the mall, having these things. And all of that was cut from their summer because of this trip and them really wanting to do. To be honest, I didn't think they'd get into UCLA.
Well, and the Italy trip was planned way before the UCLA thing. Yeah. So that's another 3 weeks, right?
Yes.
So 6 weeks right there.
6 weeks is already gone of an 8-week summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was definitely a lesson.
Wow.
A parenting lesson.
Wow.
But
I can understand. I mean, at 16, I wouldn't have wanted to be away from my friends for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
No. Unless I had a friend with me.
Yeah. And that was when you didn't have text or social media to keep up with people.
Right.
And everything. It's kind of like you just kind of hoped you still had those friends when you returned.
Right.
You know?
It was interesting because I actually asked Kathy's daughters, do you guys are you stressing? Because I thought the same thing for them because they're going to be gone 24 days or something. Yeah. And I was like,
that's a month.
That feels like a long time for the kids.
Yeah.
Because again, like nothing's more important, even though yes, to us as adults, we're like, but the Como and
like
the David,
like,
you know,
it's Italy.
But they don't give a shit. They
don't care.
But maybe for the shoes, you know, their family being Italian and there's, you know, all that might be a little different. And also, I don't know, those sisters are kind of like friends. So maybe I don't know, because I was asking them, are you guys nervous about being gone for so long? And they said,
sorry, finish.
No, they just said a lot of their friends are gone at the same time. Yeah. They'd also been out for a little while. True. I don't know. Well, maybe not because they left early. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
But also they were probably talking about this constantly.
Yes.
Because we've constantly been talking.
Correct.
But
I wonder why you weren't talking to them about it.
I have no idea.
Do you think subconsciously you were worried, or it just didn't occur to you?
Maybe. I just
that there would be pushback?
No, I never thought that.
So you
never even occurred to me that there might be pushback. I knew that there might be an opinion.
Yeah.
And I remember asking way, way early, like in November, what's something you want to see? If you could see anything, and Kay not having an answer. I don't know.
Okay.
But River very specifically saying, I want to see the Colosseum.
Okay.
I want to see Rome. And And I was like, okay. And then Sean is just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like when we would talk about it, you know, it was never to the extent of days we're leaving, where we're going, like real specific travel plans.
Mhm.
That fact that we're taking a train to that really wasn't discussed until recently.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely something I should have been included them way more involved in, but I'm the one doing all the planning.
Yes.
And it's none of them are going to plan it.
Right.
But I'm the one in charge of all of this. So I was just like, well, this is the trip I want to take.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to love it because I've planned this amazing trip that I know I'm going to absolutely love every minute. And we're going to take gelato making classes, and we're going to go here. We're going to go to this place, and we're going to do this. And, but yeah, no, they're like, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a turn of events.
Yes. So,
I mean, I can't say I'm not. I'm kind of happy you could come home sooner, because we weren't going to have that much time before
Right?
I left.
So what are you doing July 4th? Maybe I'll have a barbecue now.
That is quite, you know what though? It is so important to be flexible. I think that there is a world in which a parent could have felt angry or like that's ungrateful, but
I felt that,
you know,
Mhm.
of course,
Yeah.
but I think ultimately it is like, I do think I'm very glad that they're going.
Yes.
I think, you know, giving them the opportunity to just not do it at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think we take a bit of growth away.
Yeah. And their therapist said, if if we would have said, fine, you can stay home.
Yeah.
It would have completely. So the panic attack is one thing.
Yeah.
That is a physical reaction to the fear that they felt about this trip. What came after the negotiation, the kind of, now the tears are coming in. If we would have said, fine, you can stay home, that's reinforcing that behavior.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that. We don't want to we want to be able to say, we can come up with a compromise.
Yeah.
And you don't get to have it your way all the way. And so they're two separate things. Now, if the conversation started with pitching a fit and like, I'm going to miss my friends, I don't want, meh.
Yeah.
Would have been a very, very, very different. And then I'm just bringing a cranky kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was bringing a panicked child.
Right.
To a foreign country where I don't have any doctors. I don't have any resources like that. It would no, I'm not doing that. So luckily their therapist is fantastic. And they were just like, we just have to create these, you know, deregulation skills.
Yeah.
That when they are in Italy and they're feeling these moments, they may need to just hang out in the hotel.
Yeah.
And not do all the excursions and, you know, and just be there by themselves and have a moment when they can listen to music and decompress. But, and not that we had everything scheduled every day, but we had a lot of days of leisure, but on the days that we were doing shit, it was like an 8-hour day. And so now of everything in those 10 days, we have 1 8-hour day. And that's when we take the boat to Capri and we'll be with Kathy and Eric and some people their age. Like, oh, there's some people your age you can talk to and everything. You won't have to keep talking to your brother or me. Yeah. So it's been
what a journey.
Quite a whirlwind adventure.
I'm sure that was very, very scary to see Kay like that.
I've never seen anything like it before. And
luckily you had an idea.
Yeah, because we had just talked about it. Like, she's had panic attacks before, but nothing like this.
Get the words out. That's your adrenals are like literally whoosh, whoosh, adrenaline, and you can't speak.
Right.
Can't get the words out. That night I had the 911 come. I could not get my words out. It was horrible. And it gets terrible.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's so scary.
So different than this. It was like to the 10th degree of that reaction. And like, couldn't open her hands. Like, they were stuck in like this claw.
My gosh.
And just like, and hitting their chest. Like, I'm having a heart attack. I have to go to the hospital. Like, it was I just hope she doesn't go into a
pattern of having those.
I know.
Oh,
It'd suck. Yeah.
But because the familiarity of her not wanting to take the pill.
Yeah. Wouldn't take it.
Oh, even though that will bring you down.
And so quickly.
But you can't
works
logic.
So
there's no logic there.
And there was no, and luckily, we never said, it's okay, just breathe. All she's doing is breathing,
Trying to breathe, but her brain is literally
like,
telling her she's dying.
Yeah. And having this huge physical reaction.
Yeah.
And seeing your body and just looking at your body going through this, and me just like, what is happening? But yeah, and it felt like it was hours. Felt like
hours. It sounds like it lasted a really long
at
time.
Least 40 minutes.
Talk about that. Looking at that itinerary literally threw her into
a complete state of panic, pure panic.
Wow.
Yeah, and just like reading everything and like transfers, and you're going to take this and you're going to come here and go up the steps and like all of it, just taking it all in was just way too. Now, if I had never given them the itinerary, would they have had the same reaction? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have put it together, but eventually I was going to have to show them what we were doing.
And eventually, don't you think they would have said, when are we going to be home?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and when we were in Sunday, the day I sent the itinerary, I remember getting a text from them that said, what are our Italy dates? What are my UCLA dates? And in the text, all I did was write Italy, June, July, UCLA. And you could see there's 4 days apart from them. So they already had this was already working up the day before. So by the time they saw me on Monday, just gone.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So be flexible, everybody, and get travel insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to Jessica of Heart Travel. Thank you for finding us another flight so quickly. Cause I literally
in the summertime.
Yeah. I was
hard.
like, we're going to be stuck. There's no way. I did not think we were going to get a flight. And I was like, we're not canceling. I'm not canceling this trip. But it did occur to me to be like, maybe I'll have my mom come and just stay with them. And, they would have been just fine with that.
Yeah.
But, no, we found our compromise. Yesterday, we, talked a little bit more after, talking to the therapist and everything, and talked about our schedule. And I showed them the update. And that, this is, look, on your phone, you can have 2 time zones on your phone at the same time. You'll always know what time it is in LA. So if you want to reach out to your friends, you can always opt out of any activity we're doing. It's totally fine. And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
And then went downstairs, had dinner, was just kind of putzing around and everything. And I could hear them singing. And I was like,
what a relief.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And then went in to go say, okay, we got to get ready, shower and everything. And they had packed their suitcase. So I was like, oh, well, okay, that's good. I haven't packed, but
wow, what an interesting thing. And it is interesting when you think about how many more summers as a family you're going to be traveling anyway. And
they 2 years before they go to college.
Right.
And they don't think that. They also think we're going to be around forever.
Of course.
They are immortal.
It's not like your family vacations are over, but
right.
the whole unit's under the same roof.
Yeah, it'll change. Different. It'll be harder to coordinate.
Sure.
Holidays and all of that, and travel. Like, I don't remember really traveling with my parents every year after I went away to college.
Yeah.
We maybe went once every couple years.
Yeah, same.
But it wasn't like every summer we always do something. But I imagine, a lot of it had to do because I was working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't just take weeks off at time.
Well, so I know we need to wrap this episode. It's quite long, but so like, for example, I know you're talking about maybe doing Alaska next summer and things like that. So
have I asked any of them?
Well, what's going to be your game plan now?
I don't know.
Because the thing is, you don't want to be told no.
I know, because I really want to go to Alaska. I know Sean
You're like,
does.
maybe I can just slip it in.
Yeah.
We're going.
Look it. Well, I know it won't be as long because your girl don't like being on a boat.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely not be as long.
But it was Chad and Hillary brought it up. And Sean was on board with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So Sean is already aware of that. But the two of them, I haven't talked to them about it yet. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more like, what do you think? What do you want to do? This is our idea.
Yeah, and now they'll be 17.
Yes.
And really
like what? Oh, you can bring a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to come with us to Alaska.
Yeah.
So if it's just us, then that's fine.
Yeah. Or might be River and Hugh.
Yeah. Oh
no, Hugh will be off.
Australia.
Okay. So
yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. And that is the summer before their senior year.
Yeah.
They're going to want as much time with their friends. Hopefully they'll
yeah.
have a job.
Yeah.
As possible.
Yeah.
Doing all those senior things.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I spent my summer before my senior year working at Pizzeria Uno.
I spent all my summers as a lifeguard with all my friends.
Yeah. See, you want to be with
home.
your friends.
Yeah, we did most of our vacations on like spring break, and it would be like a week. We wouldn't go for,
which is a good idea.
I remember when we were little, we would go on really long trips, but yeah, when we got older,
that's a good spring break is a good idea.
Yeah,
you know, because
it's
then
finite.
And you have to go someplace relatively
We'd
close.
go to Hawaii for 6 days or, Portland and Seattle.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And you could take a 5-day cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So.
What a scenario. Gosh.
I know I just saw you, but did you think I was bringing
I had no idea.
I haven't told anybody.
Well,
now everybody knows.
You needed to suss it all out.
Yeah.
And figure it all out.
I needed to have a new plan.
Yeah. But it doesn't impede your time with the shoes.
No.
So it didn't ruin that, or not ruin, but like change that.
Nothing changed.
On
that.
So is there any part of you that feels a little relieved?
A little bit. Yeah.
Because
I'm not going to lie.
Being away that long,
it was
is
a long
stressful.
time. And I'm trying to build a freaking conference.
Yes.
So believe me, when I kind of resolved, and once I saw that we had flights, I was like, oh, okay. I'm all right.
Yeah. And I bet you when you're on that flight home today, as you're listening to this, hi, welcome home, Carrie. You're going to be going, I can't imagine staying another 10 days.
You're absolutely right. Now, granted, the 2 places that I cut out are the 2 places I really wanted to see because they're the 2 places I've never gone to.
Okay.
The only place I haven't gone to is Sorrento, but I've been to Tuscany and I've been to Rome, but that's okay. I'm going to 2 areas I already know.
Yeah.
But that's all right. It's all right. We're going to make it work. And I was telling Sean, I go, well, you and I are coming back so I can see Venice before it gets underwater.
Yes.
And
Venice is
yeah.
special.
And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, and I want to see Lake Como and I want to do Portofino and all that.
You will.
I will. Just not on this trip. And that's okay.
Most likely not with kids.
Yeah. So I'm already planning 4th of July. You got plans?
Yeah, no, I don't.
All right, now you do.
I'll be there. Oh my gosh. What I'm glad it all worked out. I'm really glad you're still going.
Yes.
I think this sounds like a good compromise for everyone. I'm thankful for the travel insurance. So you didn't feel, because you've kind of been screwed a few times on
couple
trips.
Times.
So it's like, you did not need another loss here.
No. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never dull.
Never dull. Never dull.
Yeah. So, hey, F buddies, where are you traveling this summer? Let us know. Sound off in the comments. Tag us.
Posted. I'm sure we'll be posting pictures of you in Italy on our Instagram.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for listening to the F Word Girls Gone 40. Like, subscribe, follow. Please give us a thumbs up on this YouTube. Audio only.
Yes.
Maybe this audio will just have clips of me in Italy.
And clips of us on our Friendventure. It'll just be a slideshow.
A slideshow. That's a really good idea.
Perfect.
Yeah, Roxanne can make that happen because she's amazing.
Amazing. All right, everybody. Toodles.
Toodles.